Okay, so we're gonna start this, and everyone gets to see this beautiful, beautiful mug of mine. Just so beautiful, it makes you want to just gouge out your eyes and spit in somebody else's face just because you're that angry now. You'll just George Bush the shit out of people. So I'll be the one to hit you, and you'll be like, "Oh, it's too ugly. I gotta hit somebody else." So that's what'll happen. uh, okay. Oh man, as I said, I woke up just now 38 minutes ago. Okay, you was going on Tulsi Gabbard. Hopefully my voice will be in sync with the picture because you're just like a 1 to 7 second delay. And if this can work, then I'll try to rig up something for CR reviews so me and Sidra can be, I guess, on camera, and I guess y'all can just look. I don't know. Got to look up at this camera thing here. All right, so you was talking about Tulsi and what you was thinking about her.
All right, so here's the thing. Tulsi has been smeared relentlessly by the mainstream media. But the problem is some of the more progressive-minded people, such as TYT, which I'm not going to deny them their credentials on saying, hey, you're progressive. I'm okay with saying, hey, they're progressive, but the fact that it seems like they've bought into some of those smears is what's really keeping Tulsi out of the race. Because the main people she would be competing for with votes, at least in the Democratic primary, is Bernie Sanders supporters. And here's the thing. As a Bernie Sanders supporter, I hope she gets more support. Obviously not enough to beat Bernie, but I want her to have more support.
Why do you want Tulsi to have more support?
Because here's the thing. Tulsi has the one positive going for her that I think Bernie does not. And the longer Tulsi stays in the race, the more recognition she gets, and then the more likely Bernie will win in the end. Now, here's that one thing that Tulsi has that Bernie does not, and that is a lack of manners. And what I mean by that is when it comes to certain things, Tulsi does not have the manners that Bernie has, and that's actually a good thing. Because when Tulsi rips apart some, like we've all seen her rip apart candidate after candidate by being like, yo, this is the fucked up thing you did, or this is the fucked up thing you just said. I'm gonna slap that down and be as realistic as possible about it. Bernie doesn't do that. And while there's some arguments that say it's good that Bernie doesn't do that, I don't agree. I think Bernie should be saying the facts of the reality instead of trying to be uber nice. Because that's what it is. He's just trying to be nice.
And okay, but you know what? Tulsi, Hillary Clinton, made the sort of that high school style rhetoric about Tulsi being a Russian agent. I didn't say it was about her, but I did mention that someone kind of like her is that kind of thing.
I'm just describing you perfectly. I'm just not saying your name.
Yeah, so that right there, it was uncalled for. And Tulsi went after her.
And I think she handled it well.
Yeah. The problem is Tulsi, Benjamin Dixon, his show, he definitely made me think, because I usually, when I have an argument with someone, it's not usually sometimes what I'm hearing them say, it's what I'm not hearing them say. And
Right.
Benjamin talked about how Tulsi exploded on Hillary, went right for the throat, said those things and tried to shut that down. And yet, that's the only one Tulsi spoke that of. She's spoken that way a little bit about Bernie at one tiny point, and that way about Elizabeth, Yang. She kind of went at them stronger than she normally would anyone else. But she's not doing that. She didn't do that against Biden. She's not necessarily doing that against Trump. She's not doing that against Joe Manchin or McConnell or anybody. She's not. She's not being so hard-nosed with them.
On the whole Trump side of the thing, I couldn't disagree with you more.
I haven't seen.
She's called Trump Assad's bitch.
She what?
She called Trump Saudi Arabia's bitch. I don't know how you can be stronger than that.
No, she did do that. She did do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
I'm just thinking about recent. I'm thinking about like in the past week. That's what I'm.
Well, here's my thoughts on that. I think it's because she's actually trying to win the primary.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to win the primary, you are actually trying to win the primary. You're not trying to win the general yet, you're trying to win the primary. And for that reason, she doesn't have to go out of her way to bash Trump. She'll bash Trump when it's appropriate, like she did with the Saudi Arabia thing, where she called him Saudi Arabia's bitch. But for Biden specifically, I don't think she needs to call out Joe Biden at all. I don't think anybody needs to call out Joe Biden beyond
Joe Biden's calling himself out.
Yeah. So, would it be nice if Tulsi called out Joe Biden? Yeah, it'd be nice for a little quick thing like, hey, Joe Biden's garbage. Let's not even talk about Joe Biden anymore. Something like that. I don't know. But it's not necessary. That's the main thing. It's not necessary for her to do that.
Tulsi and Clinton going back and forth, I honestly, it concerns me, and I'm going to tell you why.
All right.
I'm going to tell you why. Now, I recall Tulsi, one of her rhetorics was, we need to get out of these endless wars, but yet she was for some of these wars. I remember that. So
what wars was she for? I haven't heard. I'm pretty sure she's not for any of the wars. So, like, I don't know. I don't know what war she approved of.
She didn't. Listen, it wasn't the Syria. Not that I can recall.
She was definitely against that.
She was, but she was like, we need to stay somewhere, and that was my issue. Like the fact that she said we need to stay anywhere, in any place that we never should have been in the first place. And it might be for, look, we're in there. Now her rhetoric could have been without, because I didn't get context with it. But her rhetoric, it could have actually been, we put ourselves in a place that now if we leave, we will screw things up worse than when it was before we went in. So now we have to stay.
Right.
It might have been one of those. I don't like that. Now Tulsi, in the beginning, she was doing the small donations, grassroots. Not so much now. Not a fan of that.
When did she get out of small dollar donations? From what I understand, unless things have actually changed, she's running a Bernie style campaign. She's she doesn't have the network that Bernie has yet.
What she won't have it one, and here's the thing: it's not because she's female. Oh no, not even close. Mainly, it's jacked up, but there's some conflation going on that doesn't need to go on. And it's even though it might be in tiny circles, it's still more than 0 people, so that has the chance to infect others. And what that is she's from Hawaii. All right. And you might be thinking, how is that bad? That's that's an official state. How is that bad?
Yeah.
Because Barack Obama is from Hawaii. All right. People know that for the birther thing and all that for all those years and afterwards, that Obama was like, nope, I'm American, born in Hawaii. So people are conflating now. And I've seen the stupid on some Twitter, so I just block those sites. But the fact they say, well, Obama was born in Hawaii, that's what he says. So obviously, this Kenyan-born person from Hawaii, when I read lines like that, I was like, you're a fucking idiot. But this Kenyan-born Hawaiian is obviously not American, so anyone from there must not be American. And there are people with that dumbass mindset. And I'm like, this is happening. I am living in a time that this is happening, and it sucks. So people are conflating everything about Obama with her. So she's from Hawaii. They're not saying she's born in Kenya. It's just that she's not a U.S. American.
Right. I get what you're saying, but there's always going to be some level of that in the commons realm. It's definitely less than it used to be. It's definitely less than it used to be. But that's going to always be a thing to some degree, even if in the future it's literally just 1 or 2 people doing it. It's almost always going to be a thing.
I'm almost in hysterics because to read stuff like that, I think like my first thought is it's got to be a goof. They can't be real. But then you see they have said it on at least 3 other times, and I'm like, okay, you're serious. You are serious. You are a serious idiot. You're a professional dumbass at this moment. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
And this,
I would say that's the correct way to see it. If somebody's telling you something because they're from or are or whatever something, they're bad. If it's anything like that, fuck up.
Yes. It's like, you're from there. That means you are this. It's like, no, you cannot conflate those 2 things. You cannot do that.
Right.
Yesterday, I started teaching my daughter about conflation and how that is. I'll tell about how my father, so long he's had an enlarged heart, and how that weakens the heart muscle. He's had it for quite a few decades. And she was like, an enlarged heart, so that's like the Grinch. And I was like, no. And she looked like, I don't understand. And I was like, you're conflating them. And she's like, huh? I said, well, let's look up conflate before we continue. And so looked it up, and I was like, you're thinking that the Grinch had a large heart, so how could that be bad? And I was like, that's a cartoon, and they're using what's called a metaphor. So if you have a lot of heart, a big heart, you're doing the best you can. I told her, like, we have, fighters. And so you'll say, look at the heart in this guy. He keeps fighting back. For someone to lose and keep coming back, that takes a lot of heart. That's what they're saying. It's called a metaphor. It represents your strength, your spirit, your will to keep pushing forward. That's different from a medical issue of large heart. And explained it to her, and I could see that she got it, but she didn't. It's kind of like, I get it, but I don't want to get it.
Right.
That's what I saw. And because that's going to make her rethink how things are with the Grinch. Like, is the Grinch sick or something? I can see that wheel might be turning. And usually,
Yeah.
and what I saw there was, wow, this must be what religious people are going through when they hear atheists talk about there's no evidence of a God. This must be what Trumpians go through when they start hearing facts about what he's done. This must be what people who love Obama must go through when they hear about what he's done. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
get that. I get it.
I'm like, baby girl, it's life, and you can't conflate things like that. You got to take it issue by issue because you don't want one thing to be mixed with another, and it skews or messes up the reality of the situation. So that's the stuff I teach her. Critical thinking, let's do that. Now, getting back to Tulsi and whatnot, you're leaving out the fact that currently Bernie is number 2, Andrew Yang is 6, Elizabeth Warren is 1. Joe Biden is going to keep slipping because he's going to keep talking. That's a good thing. All right. He's still...
Hold up a moment. I am at the gas station.
The gas ought to pump itself.
I know, right? I will be back.
All righty. See, and during this time, I will definitely be trying to... Oh, and that behind me, that's real life, y'all. That's real life. That's let's see, which hand is it here? This one? Okay, that. The stack of stuff there, the cup holders from restaurants. Yeah, when we go out and we would get fast food, you know what they do? They wouldn't give us a cup holder. We have 3 cups. They would not give us a cup holder. So I was like, you know what? I've been saying this for about 6 years. We're gonna start doing. We're gonna collect these things, and we're gonna take them. So when they don't give them to us, we just have them in the car. We just haven't even put them in the car. And I think I've started a collection, and that's what Sidra says, but I don't know. I think I've started a collection. We need to I'm gonna start putting them in the car. We just don't go out for fast food that much. Pokemon poster, you can see that. Not mine, that's Sidra's, but I love Pokemon. Let's see. Pikachu, he's cute, but not my favorite. Charmeleon, I like him. Togepi, not so much. Didn't see the rest of the series to see Togepi evolve. Let's see. Squirtle, it's cool. I like Squirtle. Had to grow on me from the Squirtle squad. Wrong thing right there. Box of meds where my finger is. Keep them there. And my fan for when it gets too hot. You can see that thing right there. And the door we don't open. Don't know what's up with that door, but it collects spiders. It collects them. Not ever opening that door. That door will never open. If anyone opens that door, they have become a mortal threat to me, and I will go into prison. I don't do spiders. Not a thing. Hey, and at this time, I want to give a shout out to formerly Sunny Skeptic, but now Sunny Secular. I think she's rebranding her channel. Sidra, she subscribed to her Locks channel. So you got to subscribe to there. I would subscribe to the Locks channel, but no Locks, man. That's how that worked. I don't know how y'all think about this. I was going to try to save the camera for doing a live show, trying to get this Kiala stuff out of my queue, and just 3 to maybe 10 of those, like, basically yes or no kind of things, like, should abortion be legal or illegal? Is the state of the union or country or state or idea of such and such becoming toxic? Little questions like that Kialo asked, and I was going to do a Kialo thing where because I signed up for him. I thought it was a great thing. The premise is amazing, but then I've seen that it's gotten bastardized. I was working on Minds. I was uploading videos to Minds, but now Minds is more like a meme area, so you put your pictures. And there's some epic pictures, but half of them are cats and dog memes. And I understand a meme is only a picture with a lot of information or a quick whip, snap, something like that. But no, it's just turning to cats and dogs and stuff. And it did that way for Twitter at one point almost got like that. But then politics became a thing, and now everyone's getting, enraged on Twitter with politics. Mastodon was going to be the alternative to Twitter, but the problem is Mastodon has turned into look at this cat meme, this dog meme. So
I am back.
he's back. All right. I was just putting in some filler while you was gone.
Proceed to the route.
Let's see. Which background should we go with? Loops and Nights, Day Pass, Nighttime of the Whale's Crown. No. I still like this one. I still like this background right here. It kind of matches the little border I got here. I think I'll just, I use Storm. Nope, Storm was the one I was using. Don't have much options. I need more backgrounds. I got to play Final Fantasy again so I can get more backgrounds. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. The other background is going to be for Kialo and whatnot. All right, so you good?
Back on the highway.
All right. So here's the thing. I was thinking about Bernie, and he's number 2. A lot of people want Tulsi Gabbard, and I'm just not sure. You straightened me out on a few things here, and I'm happy about that. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't like the fact that Tulsi and Hillary started playing. I don't like that at all. I don't like that Trump had his quick wit and talking about something, and then Hillary's like, don't tempt me, like basically don't tempt me to get back in the race. And I was like, if Hillary is really going to test the waters to get back into the race, she's got a beef with somebody on the Democratic side. That was my first thought. She's got a beef with somebody on the Democrat side, somebody that don't have a damn chance of winning, but is very popular. And sad to say, I wasn't thinking about anybody. I was just like, Warren is very popular, and to the Bernie people, she don't have a chance of winning. But the feminists and whatnot, it's all Warren. So I'm like, I'm like, no one's really thinking about Andrew Yang because Andrew Yang, as great of ideas he's got, he's still a capitalist. That's the problem. And you can't fix capitalism by being pro-capitalism. You've got to usher in something new. And people got Stockholm syndrome when it comes to capitalism. They do. Yep. And so then when she throws out the whole, Russia asset and it's Gabbard, and I'm like, but Gabbard doesn't have a chance. And I was like, oh crap. People love Gabbard, but Gabbard don't have a shot. So if Hillary does this and Gabbard loses points and Hillary becomes the buzzword again, then Hillary will jump in. That's what I recognize. Hillary is a vindictive person. All right. Yep. And y'all, people, you're going to hate me on this one. I get it. Others are going to hate me on this. But she's a Virgo. Virgos are some vindictive people. They are. I haven't met one that ain't. My mom is a Virgo. She's a Virgo. This dude I met who's he was a Virgo. He's a Virgo and very vindictive. He's more like the guy that'll run away, but then he'll try to like snipe at you one good time and then leave it alone. That's how he was, and it was annoying. I'm like, man, don't be sniping at me. Just shut up. You was wrong. So Hillary, like when Hillary lost, she lost to Massachusetts and she just insulted them. She's insulted anyone that didn't find her in favor. Pretty much like Trump. Trump just out Hillary. But Hillary, she's got until I would say March to get herself in. So I think right now she's building, because one thing that Trump did was he built up some hype. Because he got in and he was like, people like, we know you, but who gives a shit? You're just a businessman. You know, you don't know nothing about politics. You're a businessman. And all he had to do was just talk populist, and people's like, we like you. And then he had to get up on stage and deball everybody. He deballed everyone. And especially, he was like, you know, and I've given to people and they do for me. And they're like, you haven't given to me. And he's like, I've given to everyone on the stage. And Christian was like, you haven't given anything to me. I'll take something. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Betas like crazy. Betas and gammas. Good grief. So he deballed everyone. Hillary, right now, she's trying to de-ovary Gabbard. if we can use that as a terminology and it's not too negative. She's trying to de-ovary Tulsi Gabbard. And I think that this thing is just going to build up hype for Hillary. And people are going to be on their lips about Hillary versus Warren, since Warren is the front runner based by very few polls. I think that's what's happening. And I think once Hillary sees that the waters are just right, she'll drop her hat in and see what happens. Because I don't think Hillary I think Hillary's whole goal will not be to win the presidency. I don't think that'd be her goal at all. I think her goal is for Warren to win the presidency.
No. I think she's smart enough to realize there's no chance that she can win because she's got a toxic ass political identity right now, but she's narcissistic and vindictive enough to still want to exert her influence and power over the Democratic Party.
Yeah, she's got more power not being president.
Right.
I think she wants to win.
Yeah. The whole back and forth with Tulsi does give her a slight breath. Like there's more oxygen in the room than I'm also happy with. But at the same time, that oxygen is used completely to shit on her. Like, holy shit, that's a big old python. Anyway, main point.
Like you got issues like we have here in North Carolina.
No, this is Alligator Alley right now. Anyway, sorry, got distracted.
Both of them will eat your tires up.
Got distracted by a big old python.
Oh, a python.
Yeah, python.
See, me, I would have pulled over and looked at it. I just would have stayed in my car and just be like, that is so cool. I've just been looking at it.
And I couldn't recognize it fast enough to do that. Like I'm going 79.
Good.
There's no real chance of me being like, oh, do I see a python in the distance? Let me slow down and possibly pull over. No,
you don't have that.
There's not enough room for that. There's not enough room for that.
If you were texting, yeah, but you'd be dead though. I mean, even the python would have been like, dude, you're texting while driving. Oh man, I really do think
back to me saying that all the oxygen in the room is going against. It's just burning Hillary even more. She sounds to the establishment like what's his name?
Buttigieg?
No. The conspiracy theorist guy. I can't remember his name for some reason.
Not important if he ain't here. Rush Limbaugh?
No. Crazier than Rush Limbaugh. Alex Jones. There we go. I figured it out. She sounds like Alex Jones to a lot of the establishment people right now. And because that oxygen was fed back into the room.
No. The establishment people are in their own bubble, dude. Just think about it. They ran. Hold up.
No. I don't doubt that some of the establishment are like, yo, Hillary said something. I love it. Sniff, sniff. Oh yeah, that's some good Hillary farts right there. I love that.
No, Hillary's toxic. But just think about it, as toxic as Hillary is, they ran Joe Biden, man.
Yeah, but but even with them running Joe Biden, I mean, the dude is doing nothing but losing.
And then when Joe started that losing thing, especially when Kamala Harris just gave him the epic body blow from years back, they jumped behind Kamala Harris. And then Gabbard and some others buried the hell out of Harris, and now the donors are leaving Harris, and because of that, you don't see Harris doing too much. And you know what? The establishment, they got the heir of Warren, because Warren already said in the Journal, I will take big donor money. She's already put it out there. I am for sale. So, and she is Hillary's buddy. So that's not even a false conflation. She's Hillary's buddy. You know,
his friends, Clinton.
When you put that for sale sign up and you show what shop you go to, they're gonna buy you.
Yeah.
It
now
sucks.
with Warren, I can look at her and say, yeah, I can see how you can disagree with a decent amount of the establishment, but you still also agree with a decent amount of the establishment. So it's like I can't really trust you.
And Elizabeth, when she was at first, she was, yeah, I'm for Medicare for all. I'm for it. And then she spoke about there are many ways to pay for Medicare for all or a system like it.
There's a way to get the access to Medicare. No.
And more recent,
no.
And then more recent, she's like, Medicare for all is something that is doable and I would like, but how are we going to pay for it? And there's many things on the table, and there are many ways that people come up with things. So once we figure things out and get something solid, then we'll be able to get right back to you. And I'm like, this ain't retail, man. You need it now. You should have had it ages ago. Warren coattailed a lot about Bernie, and then what she had on her own, Bernie made better. I'm like, Elizabeth. And what was Elizabeth, she was great. And then she started hanging out with Hillary. And now she's doing little things, almost backtracking who Elizabeth is. Elizabeth is backtracking. Elizabeth is sounding more like I don't know, we're in the middle. And I'm like, You don't get progress by being in the middle or staying in the past. You get progress by going forward. And she's the front runner right now. CNN likes a centrist, so they're going to put her in the front. Fox News is like anything but a Democrat, so they'll only talk about Warren if she's going to hurt the progressives. That's it. And it sucks. Bernie, a lot of people are like, look, Bernie's going to win, and they're going to rest on those laurels of rhetoric. It's not a fact. It's not etched in stone. It's just he's going to win. What makes you think he's going to win? Oh, come on. It's like, no, there is no come on. You need evidence.
Come on, man. Bernie's going to win. Come on.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You know he's going to win, and you know it.
Yeah, no.
Stabby's in full-fledged word, man.
Yeah. But here's okay, to go way back, I think I want to kind of bring this back to a different point I wanted to make. The stronger Tulsi is in this race, the more likely Bernie will win. Because if you are going to describe any candidate, any of the candidates as Bernie light, it's Tulsi. So, because she is the closest thing to Bernie light that there is, the more oxygen in the room for her, the more oxygen in the room is for Bernie. Because if she's the light version, it'd be like, oh, I like the light version. Let me go look at the, oh, snap. Damn, that heavy version. Ooh, wee. I want some of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but people don't want better. People just want their tribe to win. And that's really all that's happening.
Right. And that's the thing. Tulsi is part of the Bernie tribe.
Yeah, she's far more Bernie than she is Warren, that's for sure.
Yeah. And if she's 90 to 95% Bernie, and she gets enough support to stay relevant, then the positive thing that I mentioned earlier about, hey, she's got the one thing Bernie doesn't, and that's a lack of manners. The longer she stays, the longer that lack of manners is going to knock down the people that we really, really don't want.
That's true. As long as because she's running a lot of YouTube ads, a lot of them.
Yeah, she is.
Bernie Sanders is somebody that I do want to be president. You know.
Yep.
Bernie should be the bottom. He should be the new. Now this is view only, but he should be the new centrist. The new. We won't go this low again. That's what Bernie should be to everybody.
I agree. Well, okay. I would accept Tulsi as the new centrist in that basic idea, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, just a measuring stick is what I'm just trying to explain.
Right. Like, hey, this is the center. This is as much capitalist / socialist as you can be. Essentially. Something like that.
I'll be honest with you, Bernie just don't go far enough.
No, he doesn't go far enough on some things. He goes far enough on the things that I think have the most impact to the most people, but I don't think he goes far enough on some other things. And I'm okay with that because I'm like, all right, I'm going to do my own little mental calculations on and say, hey, does this help me and the country the most? Yes? Okay, cool. Does this hurt me or the country at all? No, not really? Okay, that's good enough for me. That kind of thing.
I want Bernie to galvanize the people in voting progressive. I want Bernie to support other progressives out there. Because the president has some power, but you still got the House and the Senate. And that's where the great majority of troubles come from. You know, people think,
exactly.
You know, Trump is the one that says, I want this. The House and Senate, the other ones, it's got to get through them. And if it gets through them and the Supreme Court is like, yeah, sure, we'll allow it. I mean, anything Trump wants, he's going to get. And that's just Republican stuff. And look, I want people to understand something real quick. Trump has, in everyone's mind, okay, because it looks this way, Trump has made a lot of Republicans go against him. We don't like you. We don't like what you're doing, yada, yada, yada. That's only because Trump is exposing the business. That's it. Trump is like, everything that these Republicans have always wanted, I'm going to get it now. Today. Now. That's what Trump is doing. And honestly, I respect that for one reason. Because he's not lying. That's where he's not lying. All the Republicans, they've always wanted big tax cuts for the rich and the wealthy. Trump is giving it. They wanted to make sure you could hate, you know, basically lawfully hate minorities and treat them like crap. And that's what Trump is giving them. And now there are people that's like, wait a minute, this is our country? See, the Republicans have always done incremental hate. Trump is hate acceleration. And they hate that he's exposed that. It's too fast to throw it into people's laps little by little and leave an argument. There's no argument. Trump has killed the argument. That's what's great about it. And so because of that, people like Bernie, they shine stronger. And how he was just racist as fuck against Elizabeth Warren. That's one reason. She's got the sympathy vote. She's got that too. She's got the woman's vote. She's got that. It's just Warren, how can I say this? Warren isn't the right one for this time because, and only because of her being in cahoots with Hillary Clinton and taking big donor money in the general. You know, that's etched in stone. Those things are etched in stone. She took a back seat from running for president because Hillary wanted her to. She took a back seat from trying to do anything else because Hillary wanted her to. Now she's taking a back seat to Medicare for all because Hillary wants her to. I mean, in all honesty, Warren winning the presidency, that gives Hillary all the power. She's like, I want the power. Yeah, she wants her name in the record book for being president, but she knows that also in that record book, without her being there, she's going to be like, in the record book, it's going to say, Warren, president of the United States. It'll show her vice president, but then also say, everyone believes that it was Hillary Clinton pulling the strings. And then that'll give her some serious power and a negative, but yet show of power legacy. And that can change, that little thing can change the dynamic of what it means to be president. Because then they'll wonder, well, if the president don't have a say-so because someone's pulling the strings, then what's the point? I mean, case in point, Dick Cheney. You know?
Yeah.
It sucks, but that's
sorry, I got a little distracted. My apologies. I got a little distracted by a comment I left on a no filter video where I'm like, yo, you aren't critiquing Tulsi the vast majority of the time. You're just repeating smears of her. And a bunch of people have basically said, no, they're not smears, they're legit. Oh my God.
I mean, no filter, that's Anna Kasparian, right?
Yeah, she's the main Tulsi hater on TYT.
They got their reasons. I'm going to be honest with you. They got their reasons because Tulsi is in no threat at all, of being president. So
right.
If they're saying negative stuff, it ain't just because. Usually, and I'll be honest with you, this is the truth, all right? TYT is a corporation. It's a company. So they're going for the flavor of the moment. So long as this beef goes with Tulsi and Hillary, then they're going to talk about Tulsi and Hillary. And that's going to push Hillary into the limelight. That's going to put Tulsi more in the limelight. And if things go well between those two, the way I'm thinking that they want it to, then they will slowly but surely take into those top spots fast if they can build up, dismay and get a tribe behind them. And I think that's what their overall goal is. And there's a lot. I mean, I'm really losing my focus.
Here's the thing. The thing that I'm tired of. The one thing that I am tired of is people saying things that are unverifiable nonsense comments that lead to a perception of somebody else, right? if they say, oh, Tulsi is an Assad/Modi apologist, right? Because Modi is a semi-far right. I don't know how far right. I honestly don't know enough about Modi to say what he is, but he's a quote unquote far right dictator in India, and Assad is a dictator in Syria. I think it's Syria.
Yeah.
But hey, she's an apologist for these leaders. And I'm like, no, she's not. When did she say anything in support of these? The most that she has done is be a diplomat, as in, hey, I'm here to say, look, we're going to be as polite as possible, but I'm going to and say stuff like, it's good that they're coming to the table to talk. If she says something like, oh, it's good that we're in negotiations with Assad to figure out a way to deal with the issue, that does not make her an Assad apologist. That makes her a diplomat doing her job.
Yeah. And see what people conflate, and I get it. I do get it. So I'm sort of kind of twisted on it myself. But they'll say this: if you are friendly and not demonizing a mindset that we all hate, then that means you are yourself that mindset. I get that.
Yeah.
That's literally tribe protection, and that makes sense. I'm all for protecting your tribe in that sense. However, like for me, I would say all these Middle Eastern dictators, they're doing a great job. Why? None of my damn business. And the people there, and seriously, every time they vote in a new dictator, whether it's U.S. manipulated or not, they vote in a new one, it's just like the last one, if not worse. So they're doing a good job because that's what the people want. Right now, you know what? Trump is doing an amazing job. I don't support him. I don't like what he's doing. But in terms of being president and a figurehead and, you know, a symbol, Trump is brilliant. Trump is absolutely, positively, 100% all American made. He is using capitalism for what it's meant for. He is galvanizing all the stupid people so they feel intelligent. He's doing everything a politician should do. That's what Trump is doing. He's doing an amazing job. Everything he wants to get, everything he wants to usher in, he gets. He wants taxes lowered for the rich and wealthy. He gets it. He wants more wars to try to get the oil. He gets it. That's what he's doing. So as a president, for what we have built up all these decades before us and during us, whether we voted for them or not, he's doing a perfect job. The problem is when the people don't want different and are upset with what they got. That's cognitive dissonance. Trump ain't the problem. He is their solution, and they hate the solution. They hate what's happening to them, so they blame Democrats. Democrats are like, we're pretty much for the same thing Trump is for. Why are you hating on us? Well, you know, you're Democrat. Yeah, but we haven't said. The Democrats aren't talking bad about Trump. They're not.
No.
They're not hating Trump.
If the Democrats were serious about talking bad about Trump, they would hit him where it actually would hurt.
What?
Because like, if they actually wanted to hurt him, they would be like, yo, why are you breaking the Emoluments Clause 300 different ways? Why are you so against the Constitution that you're okay with breaking the emoluments this much that it's almost ridiculous? Why are you okay with bombing random places that you've never even been to just because you can? Like,
Trump's brilliant. His supporters, they'll say this. He didn't break any clauses. He didn't break any rules. Trump will say this.
Right.
Trump will say, I want to do this. I'm doing this. And that's how it is. And nobody's going to do anything about it. And then nobody does anything about it. That's brilliant. You just got to say it and it happens. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
I mean, in all honesty, when you go on how this country keeps voting, Trump is perfect. When you go on the rhetoric of these people, when you go on the voting habits of these people, Trump is perfect. He spoke populist. Just think about this. I want you all to do better. That's how he spoke. When he got in, it was screw every one of you. And all of them was like, Trump is doing the best he can and the Democrats are jacking things up. That's how people were. And Trump is like, yeah, the Democrats suck. And we are not a racist country. We just want to make sure that no Mexican can come in here. We do not hate our people overseas. We just don't want any Muslims coming in here by any means. We don't hate the minorities living here. We just don't have anything to do with how the cops are murdering black people and Mexicans in the street. And the people are like, yeah, freedom. And he's like, yeah, now I'm going to break these rules. And they're like, well, wait, sure, what? Because you're Trump. And he's like, yeah. And people are like, you just realized he said he's going to break the rules. They're like, no, he didn't. He didn't break any rules. But we just hate our lives because we don't have the money. People are killing themselves because they can't afford medications or anything. And people's like, yeah, Trump is doing this. Nope. And all the while they say you Democrats and you progressives are just socialists and Marxists and anything they can think of that would be a pejorative, and say you're going to give everything to everybody and leave us with nothing. I'm like, you do have to understand, if you look at voting records, if you look at the climate in general of people's buying habits, nobody has any money to give anyone, and yet these corporations keep getting money from us, the taxpayers, that they don't need because we're already paying too much for any and everything. And they're like, nope. It's like, but aren't you suffering? Didn't you just lose a family member? Well, that was just something else, but you liberals are just stupid because you're libtards. That's our climate. That's our country.
Yeah.
And it's
sad but true.
Huh?
It's sad but true.
Yes. It makes no sense. And I'm like, you can call the left as few left that there actually is. You call them libtards, it don't mean anything. You know, you could be as insulting as you want. I'm talking to you Republicans. I'm talking to you establishment supporters, you Hillary lovers, you questionably Warren lovers. You're voting for the wrong reasons. They're women, so you want them. I get it. I want a woman as president, but it's got to be the right one. They said, well, you probably voted for Kamala Harris. Honestly, I just got done demonizing Kamala Harris. Her own father don't want shit to do with her. When a civil rights activist don't want anything to do with his own daughter, that tells you everything you need to know about his own daughter, and I thank Conquer and Thought for pointing that out to me, because that's funny.
Yeah.
That, my goodness. This is our fucking climate, man. There are 2 climate changes going on, and now one of them is good. This sucks nuts. Greasy, salty nuts.
Now, here's what I wish was the case. I wish we had ranked choice voting so that I could put Tulsi as number 1 and Bernie as number 2. Because if I could do that, I'll put Yang as 3, I guess. But if I could do something like that, then there would be no complaints. Because, hey, who do you most agree with? That's all that matters. That's all that should matter.
Honestly, I vote for who agrees with me.
right?
I'm not
That's
agreeing with them. They have to agree with me. They want my vote. They got to agree with me.
Who do I agree with most? Boom. Okay, there we go. That's who I'm going to vote for.
Like I said, voting it's a tournament. You know,
Yeah,
it's a big tournament. And if you're not viewing
it's
it
a
like a
tournament
tournament,
of popular opinion.
yeah, if you're not viewing it like a tournament, then you're not viewing it right. Because what you do is you just look at it and say, okay, I see these two. Which one? You know, this person has this and this and this, but they also did this. Or this person got those good qualities and none of those bad qualities. So this person is out. The one with all the higher positive rate of stuff, that's what I'm gonna vote for. And you keep
Yep.
doing that. You know?
That's what you got to do.
And you might not like the results because it's not gonna be the one that you want, but at least it's, you know, policy wise, and not just policy. I could come up with policies. No, you got to have the years to back it up. And Bernie has the years to back it up.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for sidetracking this slightly, but that's why I want Tulsi to be a strong contender. I don't want her to necessarily win because I agree with Bernie more than her, but I want her to be a strong contender because at the end of 8 years, I want someone who has the experience and the popularity to continue the fight. And I think Tulsi could be that person.
She
Now,
could.
would I want someone better than Tulsi? Yeah, of course I would. That's not really a question. Would I want someone better than Bernie? Yeah, of course I would. It's not really a question. But if I agree with her, if I think she agrees with Bernie 90 to 95%, and I agree with Bernie 90 to 95%, then I don't see why I would want her to be put down based on baseless smears and just stupid shit. I want her popularity to grow, and I want it to sustain so that when in 8 years, instead of Congresswoman, she's a senator or governor or whatever of Hawaii, she then has the bona fides and the experience and the backlog of things that say, hey, this is what I like. These are the votes I liked. And these are the votes I didn't like. When she has that level of experience and popularity, then she can be president, or maybe she's just a really good voice for the group. I don't really care which is the case. But having her voice weakened by people who supposedly agree with me and Bernie on a bunch of stuff is a damn shame. And that's why I'm going to vote for Bernie. But I want Tulsi to have a stronger popularity.
Tulsi's got her popularity. She's going to have it. There's really no...
Oh, no. I think if in a sane, rational world, I would agree with you. But I don't think we're in a sane, rational world.
No, I don't win over a diatribe of why we're not.
Yeah. In a sane, rational world, Tulsi's popularity just continues to increase until the point of equilibrium, which we ain't at that yet. And by equilibrium, I mean Bernie being that yardstick that we talked about earlier, and him being the equilibrium of that yardstick. And we ain't there yet. But if Tulsi increase in popularity and stay increasing in popularity, then eventually she'll be the candidate that we could be like, yo, this is a great option. I like this option. But if people who on the actual issues, on the policy issues, are in alignment with Bernie, but they also put down Tulsi, keep doing that, then enough idiots are going to believe it, and there's already evidence that enough idiots believe it, to put Tulsi's career in the ground. And that's what I can't abide. I can't abide smears being perpetrated by people who on policy agree, but decide that, oh, I don't want her because I got Bernie. I can't abide by people who say that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Making
people
the
that are
discourse
anti-her
worse.
because they are so pro-Bernie. That's irrational. That's definitely
Exactly.
irrational.
And the only critique are smears. It's not even a question. Like, oh, she's a Assad apologist. Okay, what makes her an Assad apologist? Oh, she wanted to talk to him? Really?
Like, so she wanted to do her job. Okay. They tried that with Bernie. They tried that with
They did.
Condoleezza
And
Rice.
that's another thing that bugs the shit out of me. That's another thing that bugs the shit out of me. The smears that are lobbed against her, and the putting down, like the minimalization of her, when Anna says stuff like, "Oh, she's not relevant. She's only at 1 or 2%."
I hate
or
that
something
shit.
like that.
I hate that shit.
When they say, "Oh, she's at 1 or 2%, she's not relevant," I'm like, bitches, are you deaf to reality? Because what the fuck do you think the establishment were saying when Bernie was at 1 or 2%?
Like I said, they're a
Oh,
company.
he's at 1 or 2%. He's not relevant.
And I'm gonna tell you this.
Get the
This
fuck
right
out
here.
of here with that.
When you say that somebody's not relevant, that's powerful. That's honestly, that's in the area of evil, because you're gonna you are not relevant. That means you are meaningless to this point. You are vapid to the atmosphere of this climate, and you should just leave because no one gives a shit about you. Irrelevancy that's just a one-way street. It is, and it's not toxic. It's just downright evil. And to tell somebody that they're irrelevant, that will always strike a chord with me. I don't care if somebody was actually polling at 0.003%. They are relevant because they are there. They are relevant. Yep. They are valid because they are there. And
now,
the Young Turks.
Do I think? Yeah,
continue. Young Turks used to be for that kind of thing, saying it doesn't matter how low you are there, you are valid and are worthy of being spoken of. That's how they used to be. When they became corporate and incorporated and they got these other backers and stuff, now all of a sudden there's people who are relevant and irrelevant according to them. And that is them being absolute assholes. And I wish at moments like that they became irrelevant so they could understand. I can't stand that relevancy talk stuff. I can't.
Yeah.
You know,
I completely agree with that.
Dick Cheney did not run for presidency, but held the presidency. You want to call that irrelevant? He was never on the ballot, but he ran the office. You want to call that irrelevant?
And here's the thing that also makes it so insidious. Tulsi's policies, a lot of them are really damn good. Her climate change policy, while not being the Green New Deal, is still a really damn good climate change policy. We could have her climate change policy and build on it. That's entirely possible. But instead they're like, oh, she's irrelevant, therefore her policy's irrelevant. Let's not even talk about her anymore because she's at 1 or 2%.
What I want people to do is get this mindset. You don't have to be president to get your policies out. Just because they're president doesn't mean they're going to get what they want. What they need to understand is if they need to vote on this one good policy that no candidate is saying. Because if I was up there, you know, there are reasons why I can't run for president. And they're all rhetoric. But, well, some of it's rhetoric. Some of it's just physical because I'm jacked up. But...
Well, okay, hold up on that point. Because let's be honest. The whole physical argument, that pisses me off too. And I'm sorry for sidetracking, but I would vote for Stephen Hawking if he was still alive, because even if he had 2 days left to live, because here's the thing, his brain, the decision maker is all that matters.
Yeah. And
that's the only thing you're using. That's the only thing you're using on while you're sitting at the office.
My illness keeps me from really leaving the house. My illness affects my mood greatly, and it's done it 3 times during this recording.
All right.
So that's why.
Hey, that's fine. I understand that there are issues. Those are personal issues that would make it difficult for you to be president, but
not impossible.
Let's be honest. I wouldn't care if you were stuck at your house being president. You don't need to be in the Oval Office to be president. I don't give a shit. Your policies, your decision making is what matters.
And I wish people vote. I wish more people had that thought that you just had. I mean, it's in your name, conquering thought. I wish people had that mentality. I wish Bernie and anyone else would say is, when I become president, all these other candidates, they've got great ideas, and I am going to use the best ones, and even some of the weak ones, so long as it's better than what we've got now. I don't know why no one's doing that.
Yeah.
That's so easy. Be inclusive. You know, be inclusive. It's not hard. It's not hard. Yeah. Fuck.
Well, it shouldn't be hard. It really, really, really damn shouldn't be. But like some of these people be acting like they're gonna get leprosy if they're inclusive.
Really? Oh my goodness. I might add, but see, here's the thing, it's also pride and shame, because if they adopt an idea of someone else, then they feel like it'll make them look weak. They'll be like, well, if you're gonna adopt their idea, then why am I gonna vote for you? I just vote for them. So they can't do that. But you know what? I would just be like, hey, if you like my opponent's ideas more, vote for my opponent. If you like mine more, vote for mine. But make sure, no matter how you vote,
if you like my opponent's ideas
your own
and you like
interest.
my ideas, cool. I'm gonna take them. If my opponent's ideas make sense, and then I'll take it. I don't care.
Yep. I want to know who the vice president's picks are going to be.
Yeah.
Man, ranked choice voting would be good though. I mean, the popular vote,
dude.
The popular vote.
I would get hard for some ranked choice voting. I'm just saying.
The popular vote is that just. I think it's stupid that we don't have a popular vote, because all this time growing up, you know, I've never heard about the Electoral College until, let's see, right after Clinton's the first time I started hearing about it. I've heard those two words mentioned before, but never with an understanding or anything, just hearing them. The Electoral College, and then the rest just kind of fades out. I got a short attention span. Very, very short attention span. So things just, leave. But at the same time, getting rid of that's what's needed to get rid of that. Not just say it, do it. I don't know how to get rid of it. If I did, I would have made a video saying, look, this is what we need to do. But right now, it seems like the only way I can get rid of it would be, the three branches of government right now. So that would be it. I can't help it. I'm distracted by this squirrel outside. Squirrel!
Well, let's take a 5-minute break then, because I need to deliver some packages to FedEx. Yep. So that they can deliver these packages to somewhere else.
And this has been an hour and 10-minute one, so this went long.
Well, hold up. I'll be back. Don't you worry about a thing there.
All right, so should I end this one here, call this a part 1, or should I just talk about other random stuff?
I don't know. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
All right. You know what?
Up to you how you want to do that.
I'm not going to end it, but I will definitely be closing out this thing here. And
this recording?
You know what? It'll be a part 1, part 2 today. So yeah, I'm going to end it right here. And we'll be right back, everybody.
All right.